They left him on the cold stone steps of St. Mark's, a half-zipped backpack at his feet, a note pinned to his shirt. "Your turn." That's all it said. The call came from a volunteer nun, her voice trembling with disbelief, as if she couldn't quite accept the words she was speaking aloud. My son, 10 years old, shivering in the rain, soaked to the bone, fists clenched around a damp hoodie. He hadn't cried, hadn't spoken. When I arrived, he didn't even look up. He just handed me the note, calm, practiced, like someone had rehearsed this with him. This wasn't an accident. This was delivery. I was the destination. He was a message. 3 days earlier, Rick, the man my ex-wife married 5 months after our divorce, sat across from me at a coffee shop, pretending to be human. He wanted $30,000. A business investment, he called it. But there was no business, no plan, just slick desperation and cheap cologne under an overpriced suit. I said simply, no. No rage, no lecture, just no. That night my ex called. Her tone was tight, controlled, almost amused. "You know, I told Rick you wouldn't help," she said, voice cool like a knife. "He said you've always been selfish. I guess you haven't changed." She laughed after that. Just a breath. Not enough to fill a room, just enough to make my skin crawl. I didn't argue, didn't defend myself. I listened. I remembered. And when my son was left on the steps of a church, like a parcel marked return to sender, I understood. It was deliberate, a punishment. This is what you get for not helping me. I didn't confront her, didn't storm over, didn't call the police. I waited. I watched. I took notes. I picked my son up from school every day. He began to speak again by the end of the week, softly, carefully, like he wasn't sure his voice was welcome. He told me. She said it was just for the weekend. He didn't ask questions, but they lived in his eyes. I hired a lawyer, not a cheap one. Custody modification, emergency petition, psychological evaluations, all lined up like chess pieces on a quiet board. I told the right people, the teachers, the neighbors. I investigated Rick's so-called business. It was a ghost. No permits, no licenses, just a glossy website and an empty office suite downtown. I wasn't just building a case. I was building a mirror, one she'd have no choice but to look into. All the while, she thought nothing had changed. She texted me once, "He's your responsibility now, since you're so righteous." I saved it, added it to the file. The silence I gave her in return, that wasn't forgiveness. That was strategy. 3 months later, we stood in court. She arrived with Rick, both of them dressed like they were headed to a fashion shoot. Matching smiles, matching lies. My son sat beside me. Clean shirt, straight spine. He didn't look at her once. Then came the evidence. The note, the missed school days, the psychology report detailing his withdrawal, the fake business, the texts, each piece delivered like a scalpel. Clean, cold, undeniable. When the judge read her text aloud, "He's your responsibility now," asterisk, asterisk, I saw her face change. Color drained. Rick's hand slipped from hers like oil. He leaned back in his chair, like he didn't want to be part of whatever she might say next. She cried, but it wasn't regret. It was exposure. She'd been seen, and it ruined her. The judge awarded me full custody. Sole legal and physical custody. Immediate effect. Supervised visitation, if approved. She tried to speak. Some cracked, contorted version of the truth. A plea to be the victim one more time. But the judge didn't care. I stood, collected my son's coat, walked past her. I paused, not to comfort her, not to mock her, just to meet her eyes. No rage, no pity, just truth. "Next time," I said quietly, "pick a man who doesn't use a child to pay his debts." Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. Rick was already gone. He left the courtroom like a man who'd been waiting for permission to disappear. They thought they were teaching me a lesson. They were, just not the one they meant to. My son sleeps with the light off now. He doesn't ask about her. I don't bring her up. Some truths don't need to be repeated. They echo on their own. I didn't win. This was never about winning. It was about making sure that the next time she thought about weaponizing our son, she would remember the cost, the silence, the courtroom, the look on her face, when she realized I hadn't just survived her, I had outgrown her. She thought abandoning him would punish me. She was wrong. It ended.